A respected Army officer returns home to find his wife and 2 children brutally murdered. The killer was already gone. Or so everyone thought. In February 1985, the Eastburn family lived on a quiet military base in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Captain Gary Eastburn was a decorated U.S. Army officer. His wife Catherine and their 2 young daughters lived what appeared to be a safe, structured life. But over one winter weekend, that life was violently destroyed, leading to a case that would shock the military justice system and raise disturbing questions about guilt, evidence, and justice. This is the story of the Eastburn Family Murders. On the night of February 26, 1985, Captain Gary Eastburn returned home from a field exercise. Inside his house, he discovered a horrific scene. His wife, Catherine Eastburn, and their 2 daughters, ages 5 and 3, had been raped and murdered. The crime scene showed signs of extreme violence. There was no forced entry, no clear suspect, and no obvious motive. Gary Eastburn immediately reported the murders and cooperated with investigators. At first, police believed an unknown intruder had entered the home while Gary was away. But as the investigation continued, attention slowly shifted inward. Military investigators began scrutinizing Gary Eastburn's timeline, behavior, and past. Despite having an alibi placing him away from the base, prosecutors argued he could have returned unnoticed. In 1986, Gary Eastburn was charged with the murders of his family. The prosecution's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence and expert testimony. There was no DNA evidence linking him to the crime. No murder weapon was ever found. Nevertheless, a military court convicted Gary Eastburn. He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. The verdict stunned many and marked the beginning of a long legal battle. Years later, independent experts began re-examining the case. Advances in forensic science raised doubts about key evidence used at trial. New analysis suggested the timeline may not have allowed Gary Eastburn to commit the crime. Despite these concerns, multiple appeals were denied. To this day, Gary Eastburn maintains his innocence. No alternative suspect has ever been officially identified, and the true killer, if not Eastburn, has never been found. The case remains one of the most controversial convictions in U.S. military history. The Eastburn family murders left behind 3 victims, and a case still surrounded by doubt. Was justice truly served, or does the truth remain buried within unanswered questions? If you want more dark animated crime documentaries, subscribe, because the next case might be even stranger.